All right, today we're doing something a little different. Yesterday we made this beautiful 12 gauge rocker, Emberwood, and it's got the stitching in it. And this has really turned out to be a beautiful piece. So I'm actually going to go back to an old standard. I bought new red dirt buffalo nickels, and we're gonna make a standard 3/4 inch rocker, and we're gonna do a little bit of stitching in this one too. I'm actually really excited because this is gonna be a different style of stitching than we've done before. A different style meaning a different pattern. So don't get overly worried about what could possibly be, but this is gonna be a fun one. So the first thing we need to do is resize our cutting tool here. And so we're sizing that back to 3/4. Just make sure we get enough there. And just titch over. So I want to ease it right there. Okay, as you can see, we are right on 3/4. And very simple, very easy right here. You just pull it through. There's a razor blade in there, and this gets us right where we want it with our 3/4 inch. And it's funny because these look thinner than what we're used to, but that's a beautiful little piece there, and I can pick that up exactly the right size for our buffalo nickel. So move our larger piece over, and we're going to do the standard 11-inch rocker here. Pardon my reach for some of this, but this is going to be a fun little, really quick project, but we're just going to cut off our end here, come back in, and I don't even need to technically cut it. I can actually just do our rocker right at the end, a little end cutter, a little bit over so y'all can see it. It's right there at the end, and simply that's it. It cuts us a very nice solid end to make sure everything's set there. This got a little loose. I need another one of these at some point, but that's all right. We're not worried about that right now. So we count to 11. Okay, put it right at the end there. And this part doesn't have to be exact, but we want it as aligned as possible. You can see pops right through there. Now, to be honest, I hadn't decided on a color, but I actually think we're going to go with the Trapper is always nice. I'm going to do a true mahogany today. This is going to be a fun one. So I want to start by getting my beveler out here, and just taking that edge off there. And I apologize if I go in and out of frame at all. I'm working on that aspect of it, but I'm getting better. Doing this a little more properly. All right, so there's our beveled edges. We're gonna add some fine detail. I'm gonna take this in. No, you know what? That actually should be good right there. I'm just creating a groove. This groove is going to add a little touch of detail. And that's a thinner piece, so it's going to come out really nice. And so what I'm doing is I'm actually just following the edge here, and it creates that detail by pulling out a chunk of leather. There we go. That's going to be a fun little rocker when we're done. And actually, we'll see how this turns out, but I think we might end up doing a just a slightly shorter version, and shorter version. We might actually be doing a smaller rivet, not a shorter version, and that rivet allows a little bit more space in between there, and it's actually gonna make a nice line for the holes we're gonna put into this thing. Thinking right there and right there, which is really gonna give us a fun little detail. And you know what? We're gonna do that. We'll start with it, and it's going to figure itself out. I think there, yeah, it's going to be a square pattern, so it's going to be very, very fun to finish here. Let me see here. The next part is actually our mink oil. I love mink oil. Mink oil is a beautiful thing. It gives us a nice, good, solid inside while creating a surface that holds our pipes. It also helps to become a bit of a resist for any other parts of this. And this is going to be a truly beautiful rocker. I'm very excited for this. All right. And a look at that. And we can just clean up any edges, make sure there's not a ton of gunk or excess anywhere. And this is going to be an absolutely gorgeous rocker when we're done with it. Just a little extra right there. All right. Now, get to the fun stuff. We get to do a bit antique gel. Now I'm going to let this soak in a little bit because I want that to get into every crack and every crevice that we got on there. And that's going to, I'm just cleaning up any excess has gotten on our edges there. Now with mahogany, this is going to go to a very deep, dark color. So I may tone back the mahogany just a little bit, just to make sure that we don't overdo it. Make sure that our edges are nice and clean of any excess. All right. And that is going to get a little bit darker, and you'll see we got some on our back. It's fine, actually. That is one of the beautiful things about putting your mink oil on first, is that it really gets that color to be able to just come right up and off. Now what I'm going to do is set that over there. I'm going to get a fresh 2 plies here, and I'm just gonna wipe the back of this. And you'll see that that cleans right up. It actually gives it a slightly darker color, which is just fine. I'm gonna make sure that we don't have any excess left on our table there. Make sure that all the edges are fully clean. Make sure our ends are clean. And that's the idea, is that that's meant to be dark. It's meant to get in those cracks. And you can see that it's not perfect, and that's on purpose. We don't need it to be perfect. We're giving it character. So we'll take this, and the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna apply a Resolene. Now this wasn't dirty enough for me to not use it again, so gives us a little bit of an excuse. And this pulls up just a little bit of that antique and lightens it. Gives it almost a slightly darker brown color, which is what we're going for. There we go. Perfect. Now we are going to do our mahogany. Just going to use the Resolene thing here. Now I am going to use the full side. You've seen me flip this over before, so I'm not using as much of it. And this time I'm going full color on this. Now I'm not going to overdo it. I'm going to leave some of these tones in there. But that's going to leave a nice edge there. It's beautiful. Now it's not as bright as it's about to be. We're going to do one more round of Resolene. That, as I said, we're not using much dye on this. This is just enough dye to soak the top edge, and it's going to weather this very, very well. Okay, we don't want to get too much on the back there, but that is a beautiful mahogany. Look at that. We just want to make sure those edges are nice and dry. And it's kind of fun. We have some different spots that are well done, but they're not overdone either. Yeah, this is going to be a beautiful piece when we're finished with it. And this isn't real, this is real time that you're seeing this. Some of these videos are going to be sped up, but that's the nature of short form media. So we're going to grab our little piece of canvas here, and that's all the canvas we need. Get that. Get it right on our edge, let that soak in there a little bit, and scrub it up dub. And that edge comes out beautifully well. Very nice edge there. And just enough to get that end done there. Very smooth, silky, just what we're looking for. Not enough, and just enough. almost. You'll see this applies really easily. Look at that. It's going to be a beautiful rocker in no time flat. And there it is, beautiful mahogany rocker. And we're about to add a little bit of fun flavor to it. Let's make sure our edges are centered there. And this is going to be a beautiful, beautiful piece by the time we're done with it. All right, so first thing we're doing, I was originally going to do our buffalo nickel. Buffalo nickel is a little wide for this, so I'm actually going to do a specific stitching pattern. So I'm going to start here. And all that is that it covers from one stitch edge to the other. And this tool is designed to punch holes specifically. And it punches holes directly across. Now we do one down, one across this way, and one there. Make sure we're in the hole. Look at that, it gives us a diamond pattern. And so now we can do the same thing here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through one edge. Or, well, two, technically. It's going to give us the same pattern across. So, we go. That gives us that there. And look at that. So what you'll see is the pattern that I cut is exactly opposite on both sides. And when you fold it over, it becomes identical. And those ends are identical as well. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful piece. And now we're going to get ready for sewing. All right, so we've got our needles, our two-ended needle here, our stitching pony, and we're going to give this a good old-fashioned go. I'm very excited about this. I'm not using a ton of thread here, but what we're doing is just the good old-fashioned saddle stitch. sure we didn't knock through things here. And we tighten that down. Pull it out under on this side, over on this side, and then wrap that around, and that locks in that stitch. Now, you may think that I've had schooling or teaching or any of that. I learned how to do this by doing YouTube. I learned it here. You know, I've done a lot of work and different things as far as this goes, and this has become one of those just passions for me. Something that I didn't think that I'd ever be able to do or really get into, or it's too hard, all these different things. And it was a simple trial and error, and realizing that it didn't cost a fortune to try and do you know, some of these techniques and different things, and learning how to stitch, and it requires a little bit of time and energy and money, but it's not overly expensive. Now, to produce, I'm doing this as a hobby, by the way. This is not necessarily, I mean, it's a hobby, but it's also, I make a little bit of side income, enough to pay for some of these tools and that kind of stuff. And it makes it fun. It makes this enjoyable, knowing that people enjoy what I do. And I've got people that call me and ask if I can make things for them, and you know, they send me emails and that kind of stuff, which is, it's really cool that they see the value of, you know, what I'm bringing, and that's really cool. But this is actually more about something that I've chosen to do, and it's a very fun, relaxing side hobby. And the number of people that said that I should make this and sell it was overwhelming, which is the only reason I was doing this in the first place. And then I came to find out that people absolutely loved this type of work, and it became more than I ever imagined it to be. Honestly, I was thinking I was going to get a couple hundred views, and I'm a few weeks in and I'm already at almost 110,000 views in the past 2 weeks. And that just blows my mind. That people want to see what I'm doing. They want to see a skill, and they want to see that people are working in it, they're doing things. And that's really cool to know that I can come on here and do something along those lines, and people can come and join me on this journey of learning and growing and becoming a different person, all while showing them that things can be done by hand. So as you see, is I'm actually just burning those edges, those ends, and that is a beautiful, beautiful piece. Look at that. That really has turned out quite well. I am very excited to show you all the final product here. Let me get my Peterson, readjust this camera so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to do the final reveal in just a minute here. All right, I have our final piece, and look at that. That is a beautiful finished rocker, and that really has a good look to it. And just for our test, there's our Peterson, and it sits in there beautifully. This is actually made for a little shallower pipe. which is going to be our church hill, church warden. And look at that, that sits in there beautifully as well. Thank you for joining me. And remember, adventure through dependability.